Hi, and welcome. My name is Adriana, and I like to build VR games and experiences. Today, we will learn how to make a VR app from scratch to watch 360 videos with almost no coding required. So, this is what the app is going to look like. You can watch any 360 video on an Android phone with a cardboard headset. For this tutorial, you will need an Android phone with a gyroscope to sense head movements running on KitKat or newer OS. Or a cardboard headset. If you don't have a cardboard, you can find loads on Amazon. They cost around $10 and they have lots of colors and shapes. Who said VR had to be expensive? In terms of software, you will need to have the game engine Unity 3D installed. Make sure you pick version 5.6 or newer. You will also need the Google VR Unity SDK. All the download links are below. And finally, you need a 360 video. Now let's start with the difference between a 360 video and a classic video. A regular video has a rectangular frame, whereas a 360 video has the shape of a sphere. Therefore, in this project, we want to build a sphere inside which the player stands. The video is going to be projected inside the sphere, and the player will be able to watch it in any direction. Now let's get going and start a new Unity project. Here is our empty scene. I'll go ahead and create a sphere. Right-click in the hierarchy panel, 3D Object, and Sphere. Let's place the sphere at the center of our universe, 0, 0, 0. And give it some size by scaling it up to 50, 50, and 50. Let's also make sure that our camera is also set with the position 0, 0, 0. The camera will be our eyes, so we want it to be placed at the center of the sphere. So let's see what it looks like by hitting play. We don't see any sphere. What went wrong here? This is because most game engines do not render by default the inner side of 3D objects. We rarely see them, but therefore it would be a waste of resources to render them. But in this case, we do need to see it from the inside, therefore we will turn our sphere inside out. This transformation in 3D geometry is called reversing normals or flipping normals. And we need a program called a shader to do that. So now we'll create a material. First, I'm creating a folder called materials to keep things neat and organized. Now, create material. I'm calling it sphere mat to keep things easy. And now we'll need to create the shader, the program that we need. So I'm creating another folder called shaders. And inside this folder, create shader and standard surface shader. I'll call it flipping normals so that we know what it does. Up. And in the top right corner, let's click on the Open button. It opens a code editor, and this is your shader's code. You can delete everything and replace with the shader code in this link. Pasting everything now, removing the first line. And this is what is going to turn our sphere inside out. Now let's apply these shaders to our material in the drop-down menu, which pick Custom, Flipping Normals. The shader has been applied to the material. You can drag this material onto the sphere to apply it to the sphere. And you can see now that the sphere is white. Let's hit play. And yeah, we're inside a white ball, so it seems to be working. So we're inside the sphere, and the next step is to turn this white sphere into a video player. For that, we'll need to import a video. So I'll create a new folder called videos where I'll place all the different videos we can use. And this is the video we're going to use. This is a 360 video with a lot of cute cats because I have always dreamed of being surrounded with small kitty cats everywhere. To import this video is very easy, just drag and drop it in the project. And once it's there, I'm just dragging the video file to the sphere in the hierarchy. Now, if you select the sphere, you can see that a wild video player component appeared. How smart is that? So here you can play around with the settings. I will set the loop setting so that the video can play infinitely. And if your video has sound, set audio output mode to direct to keep this sound. Let's look and play. Whoa, cats! Cats everywhere! We're getting closer. So now for our app to work on cardboard, we'll add the Google VR SDK to the project. We will go to the Google VR SDK page and download it here. Once it's downloaded, just double-click to import. This opens a window with all the files included in the SDK, and there are a lot of files. So I will uncheck the demos folder because we don't need it here and click on import. You can see in the assets folder that the Google VR SDK is now imported. We need now to turn our project into our Android one. For that, we need to select in the File drop-down menu, go into Build Settings. Let's include our scene with Add Open Scene, and it's asking us to save it first. I'm calling it 360 Video Player. Hit Save. So that's where we can pick the platforms our project will be running on. I'll select Android in the platform list and click Switch Platform. It takes a few moments to change the platform, so this is the perfect time to take a break and get yourself a nice cup of hot cocoa. You see this button, Player Settings, just under the platforms? Click on this. Components will appear in the Instructor panel. So that's where we will give a name to our Android app. So I'm setting the company name, VRTgenus, the product name. Let's call it Cats 360. Then find the Other Settings section and do the following. Enter a package name, for instance, com.yourdomain.demo360 that match the company name and the product name. It has to be unique and it's used to distinguish your app from other apps in the Google Play Store. We need to set the minimum API level to 4.4 KitKats. And we need to check the setting called Virtual Reality Supported. Select the plus icon and select the cardboard to add it to the list. If your project is running on other VR headsets like Daydream, you can also select it here. Now, let's go back into the Google VR folder, then Prefab folder, and let's drag the element GVR Viewer Main Prefab into our scene. The GVR Viewer Main Prefab controls all the VR mode settings. For instance, it communicates with the gyroscope on your phone to track your head movements. When you turn your head, your view also turns inside the app. Let's make sure its position is also at 0, 0, 0, and let's hit play. Wow, it looks really different now. The screen is now split in two with some fisheye effect on both sides. There's one screen for each eye, and the fisheye effect combined with the distortion of the cardboard plastic lenses is what gives you this illusion of depth and immersion. The final step now is to run the app on an Android phone and share it with friends. Go back to Build Settings. You can plug an Android phone with a USB cable to your computer and click here on Build and Run. Save the Android project, Cat360, and this is installing now. The other option is to click on the other button, Build Only. This doesn't install it in your phone. Instead, it generates a file that we call an APK. You can share the APK by email to anyone, and everyone can install your app after that. So now we have the app installed in our phone. All we have to do now is to place our Android phone in the cardboard and enjoy. Whoa, cats! If you want to go further, you can leverage any of these features, for instance, adding 3D elements or cool particle effects to enhance your video or some interactivity. You could also place a whole scene, a whole 3D scene inside the 360 video player and use it as a skybox around your scene. Let your imagination run wild and show me your creation. You can tweet me at AdrianaVec or leave a comment. Feel free to leave suggestions for other VR tutorials. Thank you!